Internet trolls and haters have been a problem since the early days of the internet. You know, the Netscape Navigator days, the geocities.com era, back when people used Dogpile instead of Google. You know what I'm talking about, the 90s internet era. You know, these individuals, they hide behind anonymous usernames. They use the relative anonymity of the internet to spread negativity and hate towards others. It's nothing new. It's been since the dawn of the World Wide Web. Remember when we called it the World Wide Web? Now, there are trolls that might have legitimate grievances towards particular people, individuals, or even groups. But let's be honest, many of them are simply just looking for attention or validation, and they will just attack anyone they feel is a threat to their sense of self-being. They have to have a purpose in their life. You know, being an obsessed internet hater or troll is what gives them a purpose. Without it, they have nothing to live for. This gives them some kind of purpose. They would just be an NPC. So one of the reasons why trolls and haters become obsessed with people on YouTube is because they project their own insecurities onto their targets. Now, for example, let's say there's a popular gaming YouTuber out there that has a large following and may attract the attention of a troll who's jealous of their success, jealous of their game collection, jealous that they get to go out to conventions, jealous that they get any kind of notoriety, any kind of position. You know, you hear all the excuses. Oh, those guys just beg. Oh, these guys are just grifters. And oh, guys, these guys just do this and they use and manipulate. Sometimes that might be a valid, you know, thing to criticize to an extent. You know, there's criticism, whether it's constructive or not. And then there's just flat out being an obsessed troll. And what we're focusing in on here today on today's video for you guys is the obsessed troll. Like the person, the individual who uses the internet to feel like they have something to live and strive for, because without it, they have nothing in their real life. So, you know, this type of troll, they may start attacking that popular YouTuber relentlessly, just beat him down on them, near daily videos. If you look at their archive or their upload history, maybe like 20, 30, 40, 50 years worth of videos about these people. And it gets to the point where they eventually make up false stories about, you know, whether their personal lives, their marriages, their gaming abilities even, and spreading rumors about them in general behind the scenes. It starts with criticism, and then it becomes a fixation to where it's almost like they start writing fan fiction and coming up with all sorts of nonsense that they just start believing their own, I guess, nonsense. Over time, the troll may become more and more obsessed. Like I said, you start to see it. It happens with everybody, not just YouTubers, but any kind of public figure, anybody that puts themselves out there. And it does come with the territory. You put yourself on a platform, whether it's a social media or anything, you put yourself out there, you give opinions, you're going to get your criticizers, your naysayers, your haters, your troll, anybody. You're going to get people from all walks of life, all sorts of opinions about you. But the point that I'm trying to make is trolls that are obsessed, trolls that basically fixate on you. They become more and more obsessed with you to the point where they start to believe that their attacks on the individual are justified and that the YouTuber is actually a terrible human being. So it goes from being critical about a person's content to being obsessed and justifying attacking them on a personal level. There comes like a great divide, like a fine line between, you know what I mean, that comes to fruition. So this kind of behavior can actually be damaging, not only to the target of the trolling, but the troll themselves, because it's not healthy for the mental, you know, capabilities of the individual thinking it. Fixation often leads to make-believe. Whether you believe it or not, it leads to make-believe, like what I like to call fan fiction. You know, the troll may start to create elaborate conspiracy theories about the YouTuber, convincing themselves again that the attacks are justified and that they're doing the world a favor by bringing the YouTuber down. Like, isn't it nuts to think about hate watching somebody to the point so bad that you would just come up with stuff about them to try to ruin their reputation? You know, this kind of behavior is not only irrational at times, but it's also dangerous. It can lead to more extreme forms of harassment, like sending unwanted packages to them, encouraging people to send poop, attempts at doxing private info, finding out family members' information, even confronting them in person at conventions and causing a disruption, and God forbid, possibly even violence. You know, one of the most troubling aspects of trolling and online hate is the way that it basically can spread. You know, it starts with one person, but it can infect entire communities. The more obsessed a troll becomes with their target, the more likely it will be that they will try to recruit others to the case. And you see this a lot of times online. That's why it's called, hate mobs or cancel culture mobs, things of that nature. It can lead to entire communities becoming fixated on a particular person or a particular group of people to the point where they each start to believe most of the nonsense they come up with. Like, somebody could say something utterly ridiculous and then somebody else will believe that and then chime in, and it just becomes like cesspool and cesspool and cesspool of like toxic, elaborate, fictional conspiracy, like fake, made up perceptions about people that they don't know in real life. Now, this toxic and abusive online environment that is created by the trolls and the haters can lead to a phenomenon that's known as playing the victim, right? This is when these trolls or the lead troll, whatever, these guys just go on, make up their rumors, make up their slander, comment, make their videos. They're often the ones instigating the problem. Try as they might, the content creator or the individual or the public figure that entire community or that troll are fixated on might ignore them at all times. Like, they might not ever say that person's name, might not ever acknowledge it. They might have them blocked everywhere, just might not engage at all. And it could go on for years and years and years. But when somebody finally claps out, calls out their behavior, that troll and that community will play the victim. They're the ones near daily making content, hate watching, conspiracy theorying about these individuals that they don't like. But the second that person or the targets that they go after on a near daily basis call it the behavior, suddenly they are the ones that are obsessed, even though they're the ones that have a toxic, negative troll fixated on them. They're the ones obsessed. They're the ones that need to get a life. They're the ones that are harmful, horrible, negative people. They're playing the victim, these trolls over here. They claim that they're being unfairly attacked and that their free speech is being violated, when in reality, they were the ones that instigated and caused the harm first. And it happens all the time with the internet. So, in all actuality, in all seriousness, in my opinion, it's important to recognize that trolls and haters are often motivated by their own insecurities and fears, right? This behavior that they do on the internet with the way that they act in a hateful manner towards people is how they cope with those feelings. They're coping and seething, as the phrase goes. Honestly, it doesn't excuse their behavior online or even in the real world, and it doesn't make it any less harmful, right? Just remember that they have an identity on the internet, they want one, which is why they attack others. They seek validation. So honestly, the best way to combat these haters and trolls is to create a positive and supportive community. I touched on it a while back. I said, focus on the support that you do have, because for every naysayer, you have more people out there that support you. Focus on that. Focus on the positivity. Now, there is such thing as fake positivity. You don't want to have too much gushing. You want an open discussion and stuff. But it's when you deal with people that become fixated, that's where the red flags are. Criticism's one thing. a troll here or there's another, but when you get these obsessed, fixated, fucking Cheeto eating basement dwellers that come after you, and then they play the victim when you clap back, you know, you got to remember to just let it roll and ignore it. There's nothing that nobody could say that actually is a true reflection of who you are as an individual. So any of you guys watching this that are content creators, just remember that. There's nothing that anybody that means nothing can say. You know, you got to work together to promote positivity, kindness, empathy. Yeah, sure. But honestly, the internet, even though it's a cesspool, everybody should try to work to make it a better place for everyone. Even if you have a difference of opinion or anything like that, take the steps to protect yourselves and your communities from the nonsense, and block, report anybody that's engaging in anything that's like overly toxic. You know, again, trolls and haters, they're always going to be a part of the internet, but it doesn't mean you have to accept it, and you don't even have to listen to it. And they're going to make up their own false narratives. They're going to make up their own stories. They're going to have everybody drinking their Kool-Aid, and you got to remember, there's no helping those type of people. You know, you could choose to create a positive, supportive online community and refuse to let trolls and haters bring you down. So do what I do. Focus on making amazing content, keep building a positive community, and let the trolls sit alone after they run home from work and eat their Cheetos and Mountain Dew. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you on the next one.